Hello everyone, this is Cross. What I'd like to talk about today is how to make a Dungeons and Dragons background story for your character. So when creating your character, one of the main things that you need to start is ask what type of campaign is going to be run. If you're diving into dungeons, you don't want to make a city-oriented soldier character. Likewise, if your campaign is taking place in city primarily, you don't want to make a wilderness type character who's just going to be out of their element the whole game. Ask what type of campaign is going to be run, build your character to suit. Your character needs to have a reason to be involved in the story. So finding out just generally what type of story is being run is probably the most important part. Be a protagonist in the story. That doesn't mean be a good character. You can be an evil character, you can be a neutral character, but be a protagonist. Um, so how do you really accomplish that? So what I generally tell my players is there are three things that your character backstory should have. That's be an adventurer. Being an adventurer is just a loose way of saying be part of the story. Have a reason to be out adventuring with a bunch of different people. That's the next part. Need a party, need a group of people. Even if your character is a lone wolf type of character, maybe for whatever reason they're in over their head for the time being and need a group of people. Uh, don't don't be a loner character just out to do everything by themselves. And the next thing is have a personal goal that needs about 3 or 4 steps to complete. So let's talk about these three things a little bit more. Being an adventurer, you need a reason to be out in the world. You have a background selected for your character. Why are you no longer doing this? If you pick the soldier background, if you pick the sage background, if you're a sage, why are you no longer in a library? If you're a soldier, why are you no longer in the army? Um, if you're a hermit, why are you no longer a hermit? You need a reason to no longer be in your background and to now be an adventurer. Um, and that's the next thing. This reason can be tied to your personal objective. I have a reason because I have this personal objective. Um, then you need a party. So have a reason for your character to need others. Normally I work alone, but I'm in over my head and I need a reason to have this group of people around me, whatever that reason is. Um, I need to gain allies because there's this upcoming thing that's happening, or I need allies because there's this treasure that I really need, and I need people to help me get it. And that brings us to our personal goal, which, in my opinion, this personal goal really helps shape your character's desires, and you enter a session with, all right, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how this first few sessions are going to go, but I'm going to be keeping my ear out for these clues that my personal story is about to become the forefront of the story for a little bit and acquire the spotlight. So, have a few steps for this goal to be finished. This gives the ability to for the DM. He can shine the spotlight on your character for a couple of sessions, back away, do some other things, and maybe a few levels later, this personal goal comes back up again. You can do the second part, then back away for a little bit. A few levels later, shine the spotlight on your character again, do the third part, and then maybe um, have that spotlight go away, and then the finale of your character's personal goal happens, the big epic conclusion for your personal story. Um, this is what I ask of my players is to think about things in this context, and what happens is you'd be very surprised if every player does this, how some of their personal goals just the players don't need to be talking to each other about what their goals are. This all needs to be kept private until it's revealed in session. That way, everyone can kind of be surprised and everyone can understand what's going on from the context of the agency of the story, the the ultimate goals of the story. So, examples of this in Critical Role, Keyless Aramente is a great example of having a personal goal that needs 3 or 4 steps to complete. She has to go to each one of the different tribes and complete some sort of task for them. Great. And at the end of that, the epic conclusion is she becomes the chief or the the ruler of the tribe or whatever that she's from. Great. That sounds like a really great personal story. Each section doesn't take that long to complete, but it kind of becomes a thing for the players to do that helps this individual character out. I'm going to help you become leader of your tribe, and through RP reasons, that really helps drive this interaction between the players. First, the character needs to reveal to the party that I need to do this thing, and second, the other characters need to have proper incentive to help you with this thing. So, it helps drive that interaction a little bit. Um, Another example would be in the Zelda games, acquiring the Triforce. You get each part and you go defeat, the end boss. With the Triforce, you have the power of the Triforce now. Um, so this is really how I tell my players how to structure a backstory. What are the requirements of the backstory? And then once these, you'd be very surprised at how different the backstories come out. And then as a DM, you're looking at all the backstories and say, okay, well, this person's backstory is interestingly close to this person. Their goals are kind of different, but I can kind of see how they would weave together a little bit. So then all of a sudden, one person's backstory is now directly hooked with another person's backstory, and now they have a reason to help each other out. And so this isn't necessarily the only way to make a backstory, but is a good way to structure a backstory so that you can develop a backstory that has some depth to it. Having a backstory that is, I had some bandits come attack my village. Now I want to go kill those bandits. Okay, that is a reason to go out and adventure into the world. That is a reason to potentially need a party. But if your only goal to be an adventurer is to kill these bandits, then once you've accomplished that, now what reason do you have to be an adventurer? Killing a bunch of bandits can be done very early on in your career. Level 3 or 4, you could legitimately wipe out a camp of bandits. And now what? Oh, I'm gonna head back home and do what I was doing before. I have no reason to be invested anymore in being out and being an adventurer. There's a way to structure that so that it can be done in 3 or 4 steps, but try to think bigger. Try to think a little bit more in depth. My character was attacked by bandits that belonged, right? That belonged to a organization, a deeper thieves guild. Give your DM that little nudge that's saying, okay, these bandits are the ones that did the job, but there is a deeper. I saw a tattoo on one that had this symbol. I don't know what that means. I suspect that this group of bandits actually worked for someone else. So someone else hired these bandits or was involved in these bandits attacking my village. So now the plot thickens, so to speak. I can go kill these bandits, but now I don't want to just kill these bandits. I want to capture them. I want to acquire this information. Who are you working for? tying someone up to a chair and having your party around you while you are interrogating this guy and really showing the party how far is my character willing to go to acquire this information? What sort of torture am I going to do to this guy? And how are the other characters going to react to this? You know, that's how you develop a great scene. Don't just leave it at, I have these bandits to kill. Make it deeper. Make it 3 or 4 steps to complete. Um, I'm going to acquire this information, uh, potentially. Um, and then as a DM, have it so that there could be a few different ways to acquire this information. Don't just make it, I have to get this information from this one guy. What if this guy dies? Well, then this character has no way to continue his personal story. Have, again, 3 or 4 ways to acquire the information, either through letters, through the interrogation of this person, or through rumors. And so now you have a physical object that you can read. You have someone that you can have the information given to you directly from a first party source. And then you kind of have this third party information that may or may not be true. Great, I have a way to complete my story. Um, and so, again, just try to fit your backstory into a mold. It doesn't have to be this mold, but think for a moment how you're going to structure your backstory, what kind of goals you need, and good luck in creating your backstory. And hopefully, when you submit it, your DM looks at it and goes, "Wow, I can really use this information." And then hopefully he doesn't try to kill you with it too badly. We'll see you guys next time.